Well, hello there and welcome back to another one of my videos. I've got here the Nemesis forks, or are they? Let's go and find out. You're thinking about indeed. Later. I would like to have a fork jig, but unfortunately it's just impossible. They're huge, bulky, heavy, and they're expensive. So when you're rebuilding your forks and you think, ooh, are they straight? Well, let's find out. Right, well, the first thing you want to do is get your vice level. So mine's adjustable, so I've put the spirit level on it and got my vice level. Ding ding, round one. Okay, we've sort of got the forks in a vice. They don't have to be absolutely bang on because we're using a buzz wangle, so that'll just self-zero. So we take the measurements from there onwards. So that's more or less right, and that way up more or less right. So now, first thing we're going to do is drop the buzz wangle on it and turn it on. Oh, that's pretty damn close, isn't it? How about that? Right, lower part, upper part of fork to see if there's any deviation in degrees. That'll tell us if it's bent sideways in any way. So that's 0, 0 there. Come along to this end. It's out by 0.2 of a degree, which I'm pretty sure if I move it around, it's gonna come pretty much bang on. Let's have a look down this end. It's gone another different direction now, look. 359.7 degrees. The forks haven't moved, so 0 again. Now it's 0.1 on this end. So I'm pretty sure these forks are absolutely bang on anyway. But so we want to get it within at least a degree. Right, our next measurement, we're going to measure the angle of rake on the forks. So we want to be hopefully within 1 degree. So the next set of forks to test, I want them within 1 degree of these forks. So obviously we'll first measure here and we'll zero that. Right, so we'll zero on there, and now we're going to find out our rake angle is 15 degrees bang on that side, and 15.2 degrees on this side. So I've got another set of forks in now, and we're going to have a look at these and see how much better these are than the other one. Now I was getting 0.2 of a degree out over here. This is now, here we go. Come on. It's going to get there. There you go. 0.0, 0 degrees. That is 0 degrees. Now we come up to this other end and look. Can I get it to 0? Moving around. 0.1. So this set is even straighter than the other set. Go back. Right, we're on our third set of forks now. We'll take some more readings. Let's zero this. Now this is a set of Indian GP forks. So we're on 0 there. And we're on 0 there. These are brand new forks that have never been in a bike. So that's straight. And now here we're on 16.2 and 15.8. So I reckon that these are correct. This is as close as you're going to get it. So you're looking at, I think, around the 16 degree mark, 16 degrees of rake on them, and 0, as close as 0 as you can dam it on that. If it's out, that's bang on. So we're going to take that as our benchmark fork. This set, 16 degrees rake, as close as you can get to 16 on both forks, and 0 across the headstock bar. So we've dropped our forks in now. This is like a dry run, just to check the forks. It was better before building them up to check they're nice and free both sides. And just adjust them up so there's no play in there, but no pressure, and they're free running on both sides. So now we'll just take them back out and right, okay, we've got our fork compressing spring compressor tool on. I've got a little G clamp on here because otherwise it tends to rise up a little bit. So now we can just wind the spring up. Nicely in, and move it about. And then we've already got our fork leg built up with new bushes, so we're going to add some extra grease on the sides here. Can never have too much grease. Little shims that go on the outside. More grease, and now that should hopefully slide nicely into position. Right, once you've got your leg in position, just line it up with a pointy podge. Then it's always best to have a tapered podge with you, because that then lines it up exactly. That will line it up absolutely spot on, because it's tapered, and it will go in there and it will line up that pivot with your bolt. So your bolt should now go straight in, hopefully. Let's get a bolt. Little tap. Straight in, easy peasy. Okay, here's our bottom buffer that I'm going to put in. Now, I don't do them standard. I trim them down to 14.5 mil. They've got flat on the top now. So that means your fork link will be lower, and it will give you a little bit more softer ride and a little bit better stance. It just makes that first bit of spring a bit lighter. It says you don't preload those springs up too hard, because otherwise the bike bounces a little bit. It helps with sag, very important to have sag. Now you can get these things from K2 Customs. They do them. This is a copy I made myself, but they do sell them and they're a reasonable price, I believe, and they work quite well. So that's us in there, and you've got a little bit more softness on the bottom bit, on the first bit. Nice, that'll do. So when the weight of the bike goes on, you just get a tiny bit of sag. Lovely jubbly. Okay. And then you just proceed to do the other side exactly the same. Right. Still thinking about cooling. I had a few little comments and some advice on my last video. All taken in hand. But somebody did come up with a very interesting idea. And I do believe they use it on their race bike in the UK. And I must say that I noticed it myself, that when I was racing with my race bike and the engine got hotter and hotter, you found that the handling started to suffer a little bit, and I was wondering why. But then I noticed that my casing was moving from side to side and actually rubbing on the side panel. So that's quite a bit of movement. It was moving over, say, 15 mil, because I had plenty of clearance, and it's the engine mountings getting soft. As they heat up and all that heat gets into your engine mounts, it makes them go softer. So you've got a lot of heat here on the engine mounts, on this block here. That's going up to 100, 120 degrees during racing, maybe even more. Your rubber's getting softer. Therefore you get more weave in the back end. So, possible cure. I was given the advice by a well-known man in the UK to build myself a heatsink that goes on the engine mount. So I've got a great big huge lump of alley here that I'm going to machine up, and it's going to slide over the engine mount with fins on it. So I'll have to machine fins across it so it slides on with some fins to take the heat away. I think that's a brilliant idea. It's got to be worth a go. The more surface area you've got to disperse heat, the better. So that's just got to be an improvement. Off we go to the lathe. Dear, that didn't turn out too good, did it? Battery went flat just as I started machining. Unbelievable. Well, you'll have to come back next time to see how it's going to turn out, won't you? See you later.